Namaste, yogis. Welcome in. Take off the chunkless. Let's get you all set up. Hope you're doing well. Okay, yogis, in following true with what I've been talking about the past few weeks about making my classes with the basis of kind of what I'm needing, listening to my body and not necessarily just pushing it because it's opposed to teach, but putting it there because it is something that's beneficial to me. So we're going to continue that today. Legs have been feeling it a little bit. I've noticed that if I don't stretch out enough, and I've definitely not been stretching as much as I normally do, I start to get a little tightness in my right knee, and it can start to become a little inflamed, and just not necessarily painful, but definitely sensitive. One thing that helps though is to smash my calves. It's not as terrible as it sounds, but it's also not far off from how it sounds. So for that, you're gonna need a blanket. I have this knitted, thick, homemade blanket. If you have something like this, horse blanket, anything like that, grab it. If you only have towels, I suggest you to grab 2 towels, and then you'll layer them on top of one another so it's thick enough, but then you'll fold it up. And to get a nice fold, you'll want it as wide as your hips, a little bit wider if possible. So take a hamburger fold, if that term resonates. Nice half fold, short fold, and then a long fold. So it'll be in a rectangle, about as wide as your chest, maybe a little bit wider. Take the frilly end, and then begin to roll it up. And if there's not a frilly end on your blanket, no worry, just pick an end and roll. You should end up with a log that's about 6 inches around or so, maybe a little bit thicker. If you go way thicker, it's going to be unbearable, maybe not even beneficial. You may not even feel anything if it's too thick. If it's too thin, you definitely won't feel anything. There's going to be so much tension that you won't be able to target without a thick enough blanket. So if you do only have a blanket and it's not that thick, maybe throw a towel in there, roll it up, or take, again, 2 towels. This is the log that we're going to start with. I'll go over this again in a minute. We have a few minutes before we start. Other than that, you change your mat. We're going to start today on your backs. Yes, we are starting on your backs today. So if you're already here, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Find a way onto your back. Otherwise, get a few minutes before we start. We'll do this. Looks like we're going to start in 1 minute. That took a lot longer than I expected. I'm also going to have blocks with me. They're not necessary for your class, but they're something that for me helps me find more space. So if there's something that you've never worked with, man, oh man, what a life-changing experience. Especially if you've been doing yoga for a while without them, haven't even thought about using them. It's going to change up your practice if you incorporate them. If you don't have blocks, but you would like something that you can rest your hands on to give some pressure, cans of soup, water bottles, you can take a stack of books, stack them by your hands. Again, we're going to be smashing your calves, so that blanket's going to be underneath your thighs and on top of your calves. So you want something to press so you can get lifted. You don't have to put as much pressure on it. You can be in control of it. So if blocks are on the docket, grab those. or something that could be a makeshift block. And it looks like it's that time. So again, if you're just joining, welcome in. My name is Jeremy. This is going to be 45-ish minutes. We're smashing calves today, taking care of your calves. Part of that is going to be to release tension. So grab a blanket, grab a block. No, grab a blanket or grab a towel. Roll it up until it's nice and thick. I'm going to re-roll this when I lost my tightness. Once you've got that roll of your blanket, set it to the side. We won't need it just yet, but have it ready and easily available to grab. We're meeting on your backs to start. Now tightness, basically from the ground, comes up. As above, so below, and all that good stuff. So, any tightness that you're feeling as you stretch your legs out, notice that. It could be your low back lifting off the ground as you lengthen your legs. It could be that your toes don't rotate out to the side because there's too much tension on your inner thighs. If there's a lot going on below your waist, take whatever blocks you have, or maybe even your blanket, slide it underneath your knees so that your knees are slightly bent and your low back can get flat on the ground. This way your toes can relax out to the side, their natural position, and your inner thighs can relax to assist in that. Close your eyes. Just work through a few rounds of breath. Observing and noticing the space that you're in and what you entered into the space with. If you haven't already, seal your lips. And start to take slower breaths in and out through your nose. Take another round even slower. Do 3 more rounds, each time getting a little slower, breathing in and out. Round of breath, your slowest, deepest, and most focused breath yet. With that slow breath, acknowledge your practice. First, acknowledge your body. Ask yourself how you could hold yourself to a slightly higher standard so that you can reap the benefits of that higher standard. Your practice here is raising that bar ever so much, showing that you can be more so than just content with where you are. You can put in the work to find progress. With that higher standard of yourself in mind, take a breath in, reach your hands above your head. Take a good morning stretch. You can press your legs down, get some length, and then pull your right knee in towards your chest. If you have blocks or a blanket underneath your knees, go ahead and move it out to the side. So pull your right knee in, hug your knee to chest, half wind relieving pose, and begin to try to pull your right knee out to the side of your ribs. So rather than trying to press against them, slightly out to the side. Get a little more room, a little more space. Just see what your right hip flexor feels like. There, half happy baby. Grab the outside of your right foot. As you hold your foot steady with your right arm, drive your heel up to the ceiling. At the same time, pull your right knee towards the ground. And keep that going. Drive your heel up, kick through your heel, but slightly resist it as you pull your arm down towards the ground. your leg, grab behind your right thigh, send your right leg straight up to the ceiling. Now you should feel a stretch on your right hamstring, right behind your hands. Point your toes to the ceiling. You get a stretch on your front of your shin. And then again, flex your toes, get a little deeper stretch, maybe through your calf, but more so through your hamstring. 2 more times. Point your toes up. Flex them back. 1 more time, point forward. Flex them back. Release your hand, keep your leg right where it is. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly slide your foot forward down the wall. You're sliding a red footprint all the way to the baseboards. Let your heel touch. And pull your left knee in. Half wind relieving pose. Knee out to the side. And just let something go. Or at least take observation of something that's there. So notice your hip. Notice your knee. Notice your right glute lifting off the ground. You keep it down. One more breath. And then half happy baby. Grab outside of your foot. Maybe just grabbing your foot is your half happy baby. This was mine for a long time. If you want it, kick your heel up. Pull your knee down. What I really respect seeing in my classes is more so than just students following along, but students taking their own route, not simply stopping because it's difficult, not just being facetious, but seeing what's being offered, listening to their body, adjusting accordingly. More breath. Bend your leg right behind your left thigh, and then send your heel up to the ceiling. Flex your toes to your face. Again, slightly pull your hands up against your hamstring, and then resist by driving your heel a little higher. Point your toes up. You can get a stretch all the way through the front of your shin, and then flex your toes back. And then do that again 3 times, or 2 times, 3 times total. Flex. Again, point. Flex. Keep your leg where it is. Release your arms. Drive your heel up. Take a breath in. And exhale, slow descent. Keep your legs straight. Keep driving your heel forward. You're lengthening it forward. You're not just lowering it down. That can cause your hip flexors to take on a job that's not meant for them currently. From there, hug both knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Roll up to a seat. Take a breath in. Reach your hands up. And then exhale, let your hands fall in front of your legs. Keep a long spine. Keep that long spine as you walk your hands forward. Again, like you're prancing, like you're a fancy dog. Take a breath in. When you get to the furthest point, when your hips try to lift, I want you to stay there. Lift through the back of your head. Find a slight tuck of your chin. Take a breath here. Exhale, fold forward. If you want to take your elbows down, you can. If you want to keep walking them forward so your arms stretch out, let yourself become passive here. Forehead maybe to the ground if that's not available. Keep it lifted, or maybe take one of those blocks of support. Take it underneath your head. Meet yourself where you are, and then assess the journey from there. How does it feel? Press into your hands. Walk your hands back in towards your legs. Take your legs out front of you first, and then swing them to the side so you can come to a seat on your shins. All right. Calf smashing time, y'all. Grab your blanket or towel set up. So again, nice and tight roll. Now, pro tip. The goal here is to get your blanket behind your knees as far forward as it'll go. Now, if you're staying lifted, it's really hard because when you try to bend down, your knees close up. So, pro tip, top of your head to the ground, about a foot in front of your knees. Roll onto the top of your head so that your hips stack on top of your knees. Then use both hands. Pull it as tight as you can into the crease of your knees. Lock it in place by sending your hips back down to your heels. Take your hands to the ground and then press yourself up to a seat. Yowza. Now, I know whenever I start neglecting this, because I can feel it in my knees. They start to get a little tighter day after day. Movements become a little more strenuous. So When I'm not being true to myself, when I'm not holding myself to this standard, I can absolutely feel it. So if this is something that's new to you, it's probably going to feel like astronomical tension. There's nothing here that you're going to necessarily injure. It may feel intense, but be with that intensity. If it's way intense, again, press into whatever block or support that you have so not as much of your weight's on it. As you see fit, then lower your hips down. If you want to go further, take your hands by your side, start to lean your chest back. Maybe a little bit further. Maybe a little bit further. You notice as you get more weight back, it starts to crush down more onto your blanket or your roll. Breathe there. If you want more, come back through to center. Take your hands to your heart. No longer supporting yourself with your hands. Lean your chest back. Ooh, buddy. There it is. And not so far that you get a back bend, but so much that your abdominals catch. You still have a straight spine, but extra weight is pressing on your hips to drive down and stretch through your calves. You got 5 more rounds of breath here. And notice if you're squeezing your butt cheeks, holding yourself up tight. Let them relax. See if that lets your calf relax or your hamstring relax as well. Check in with your jaw. Is it clenched? Release it. Let your tongue relax from the roof of your mouth. And last check-ins with your thoughts. As you breathe, what type of attitude is the filter on your thoughts currently? Is it excitable? Is it anxious? Irritated? Or is it happy? Explorative? Go for the one that suits you, that serves you. One more breath. Shift forward and press into your blocks. Move your roll down about 3-ish inches. So still on the meaty part of your calf. Ooh, yeah, come down to a seat. Now, I'm doing this with y'all so that I have an idea of when is the proper time to release. This is a relative pose. So if you stretch your calves out regularly, if you foam roll regularly, this may not be that bad. This may be another Tuesday. If this is something that you don't do, if you don't foam roll, you don't self-myofascial release, this could be intense. This could be the Saturday you never wanted. I want you to bring your hands to your heart, lean your chest back a little further. When you feel like your body is relaxed into it, it's not as intense, maybe take a couple of breaths, revel in that. Again, acknowledge that. Thank yourself for that. And get a little deeper. Add on. Five more rounds of breath. At the top of your head, slight tuck of your chin to the back of your neck is still long. Last breath in. Breath out. Last time, shift forward. Move your roll down just above your Achilles. So, underneath the meaty part of your calf, but still above your heels, about halfway in between. Come to your seat. And again, this one is going to be probably less intense. Again, maybe more intense. It's all relative to your own body. For me, this one I have less pressure here. So again, adding more pressure on helps me find my edge. What is it that you need? Hands behind you. Slightly lean back, maybe hands to your heart. We'll stay at this one for 5 rounds of breath. And scan your body, wherever you added tension, clenching, gripping. Soften it. Soften it without beating yourself up for it. Last breath in. Slow, controlled breath out. Press to lift your legs off, send your blanket out to the side, come to a tabletop, and then pitter patter your feet. Bring some fresh blood back. If it feels good, you can tuck your toes, maybe a couple of rounds of breath. You can take a hovering child's pose just to get some blood back in. When you're ready, downward facing dog, hips up and back. And I've taught a few classes today, took a class myself. And this is probably the most open I've felt in my down dog. Before, or after any of those classes that I taught or took. All because of that release. So notice if you can walk your feet further back, you can get deeper into the pose. Maybe bend your knees. Press your hands down and forward so your chest extends back. Then try to straighten out your legs. Maybe pedal out your feet. Again, a pedal of your feet, bending of an opposite leg, can help deepen a calf stretch. So if there's a little more space now and you can get a full static stretch, take it. Get 4 more rounds of breath. Make them about you. Say it a lot, but it's so very true. It's your union of breath and movement, but that's absolutely unique to you. Next breath in, bend your knees, look forward, and then slowly step your feet one at a time all the way to the top of your mat. Super slow journey forward. Bend your knees once you're at the top, fold over your legs. Let your hands rest palm face up on the ground, as if the top of your head, as it melts towards, lets out any anxiety, any tension, any residuals that are in your body. I want you to breathe as if you're a siphon. Pump them out of the top of your head. Let them fall into your hands and melt like honey onto the mat. One more time. Fill up to your biggest extent. Exhale, let tension melt from the top of your head. Send your hands up to the tops of your feet. And inhale all the way up to standing. Take it nice and slow. Finally reach the top. Take Tadasana. Arms out to the side. Shoulders down away from your ears. Keep your palms facing forward. Pull your shoulders up to your ears. Draw them towards the back of your space and then pull them down. Let's do that 3 more times. Pull them up. Pull them back. And then down. On your own. Slow and methodical. Last one. Let your shoulders relax from your ears. On an inhale, reach up to a mountain pose. On your exhale, Samastahiti, hands back down to your heart. Inhale, reach up to mountain. Again, exhale, hands to your heart. Press them together, drive them down. Twice more, inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last time, inhale, reach up. On your exhale, swan dive forward. So reach your hands back. Lean forward like you're literally going to swan dive towards the ground. And then hands to the ground. Halfway lift, slide them up your legs. Exhale, high plank. Lower your knees to the ground. We're going to take this into more of a planche setup. So a planche is more like a high plank, except your shoulders shift way past your wrist. In order to support that, we're going to get a rounded spine like you would for cat pose. So before we move there, inhale, cow pose. Pull your belly down and forward. Pull your chest forward. Your exhale, round your spine for cat. So press the ground, tuck your tail to your face. Look at your tailbone. Can you press more through your hands? Press through the thumbs and the index finger of your hand so your shoulders extend. That extension is going to help you keep supported as you lean forward. 3 times breath to movement. Inhale to cow. Exhale, cat. Again, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last time, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to neutral. Grip through your fingers, stay on your knees. Shift forward so shoulders come past your wrist. And then find cat through your spine. Press the ground away, round, and then drive through your thumbs and your index fingers. Squeeze them together. Can you lean further forward? Keep that roundness through your spine. If toes, or rather if flat tops of your feet on the ground is enough, you can stay here. If you want to go further, press to the tops of your feet, lean forward. You can draw your belly up and in, press the ground, round, round, round. 3. For 2. Last one, breathe in. Exhale, knees to the ground, child's pose. Drop your hips to heels. Now, your toes can be on the ground, knees can be on the ground, or tops of your feet can be on the ground. But challenge yourself to get your shoulders further forward.
It'll stretch out your wrist, and also that activation of your cat pose through your spine will help build more strength in your shoulders. Not even making it more accessible just to put weight on, but making movements more fluid. Take a breath together. Let it go together. All right, we're going to shift forward all the way into that knees to the ground planche setup. So on an inhale, grip your finger pads into the ground, shift forward, round your spine, shoulders past your wrist, press into your knees or tops of your feet. Exhale back to child's pose. Again, inhale, wave forward, round your spine. Exhale to child's pose. Just 2 more times. Inhale, round forward. Exhale, press back. Last time, forward, in. Out. And this time, reach your right arm to the ceiling. Inhale. Thread the needle on your exhale, right arm under your left. Wider knees in this pose makes it more accessible to thread the needle. So if you're finding trouble finding space, come up to center, move your knees apart, and then try again. Take your left hand, place it on top of your right hand, and then interlace your fingers. Take in a breath, and then exhale, press your right hand across to the left with the strength of your left arm. One more breath. Release your grip, plant your left forearm back to the ground, set up in your child's pose setup. Inhale, reach your right arm up, open. Exhale, back down, child's pose. Left arm high, breathe in. Exhale, thread your left arm under. Shoulder, ear, and cheek to the ground, and then settle. If that felt good on the other side, keep it. If not, let it go. Plant your right hand on top of your left, interlace your fingers. Pull your right or your left arm to the right. And keep your breath deep here. You're adding that tension to pull. Use your breath to stretch that out, almost like you're over blowing up a balloon. When they get blown up and then released, they're not quite the same size as they were before. Use that same concept for your muscles, a little more stretched out, a little more spacious. Release your pressure, plant your right forearm to the ground. Inhale your left arm up, open. Exhale, child's pose. All right, from here, forearms stay on the ground, shift forward to forearm tabletop. Forearms down, round into your thumbs. So press them down, press into the L of your thumb and your forefinger. I guess one of them is a J. So the L and the J of your thumb and forefinger. Find that same roundness through your spine like cat. It's not going to be as pronounced here, but find that same activation. Then send your right leg out straight behind you. Tuck your toes like you're setting up for a forearm plank because you are. And then send your left leg back, forearm plank. Now you can stay here. We've got 10 rounds of breath. Or walk your toes forward. Keep pressing through your elbows. Shoulders are not going to stack on top of your elbows for this one. I want them to stay behind. So bend your knees. Press your hips back. And then challenge that strength of your shoulders, right? You're already holding them back. If you want to go forward, that's easier. Press them back. And then challenge that by pressing more through your feet. You drive your feet back to challenge the strength of your shoulders. 5 more rounds of breath. Belly up and in. Soften through your gaze, soften through the top of your head. Maybe give it a shake, yes and no. Last breath in. Exhale, lower your knees down to the ground. Come to a seat on your shins. Take your knees out wide. Hands behind your hips about a foot. And then drive into your shins. Lift your hips off of your heels. Get this front line opening. Squeeze your shoulders together. Press your hands down. Breathe deep into your throat. Find it expanding there, and then expand all the way down into your low belly. Breath in. Exhale down. From here, hands to the ground, downward facing dog. All right. Let's take 2 rounds of the standard Sun A. Warm up a little bit through some movement, and then we'll move on. Take your gaze forward on an inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Inhale, mountain pose, reach up. Exhale, Samastahiti. Hands to heart center, squeeze down. Inhale, reach back up to mountain. Exhale, forward, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. High plank on your breath out. Now, we're going to take your planche for 5 rounds of breath. So either keep your knees lifted or lower them to the ground. Shift forward, press the ground, round through your spine. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in. On your exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down to the ground. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, tap your forehead to the ground. And then do that again. Inhale, lift, halfway, cobra pose. Exhale, tap forehead to the ground. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, lift and hold. Maybe lift your feet, maybe lift your arms, but squeeze your shoulders together, especially if you lift your arms. Use the squeeze of your shoulders to support the lifting of your chest. Breath in. Exhale, take your right cheek to the ground, arms alongside your hips, and then slightly wiggle them left and right, just letting go of some tension. Chin to center, hand underneath your shoulders. As slow as you can, tuck your toes, press up to a high plank, so not a quick press. Hips stay in line with your shoulders. Slowly press yourself up, then downward facing dog. I'm sure you knocked that right out of the park. Take a breath in, breath out. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or float forward. Maybe start to speed it up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart, Samastahiti. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Final round here, working with your planche. Shift forward. Notice the crease of your wrist. I want you to spin your biceps forward. Keep leaning forward. Option to stay here for 5 rounds of breath or lift your right foot off the ground. Keep that lean forward. Press the ground away. Lower your right leg. Lift your left if you're going there. Come back through to center. Take a breath in. Bend your elbows and then exhale, chaturanga. Lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your heart through your arms. Pull your hips forward. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. You're going to take your right leg high, inhale. And your exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose. Again, inhale to high. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose. Hold here. On an inhale, tap your knee and the top of your foot to the ground. On your exhale, draw it up like an elevator. Twice more. Inhale up. Exhale, lift. Again, inhale up. Exhale, lift. Inhale low, touch it to the ground. Spin your right foot to the right. So behind your back, inhale your left arm up. Side plank variation. You can walk your right hand a little further forward. Just ensure your shoulders stacked on top of your wrist. Left shoulder stacked on top of your right. And notice how I'm going way back. I want you to reach your left hand straight up to the ceiling. So again, not overarching and putting any undue pressure on your joints. Stacked and strong. If you do want to go further forward, lengthen it forward towards the front of the room. Frame your ear with your bicep instead of behind the back of your head. Still in line with your ear. One more breath. Everybody reach up, inhale. Both hands back down to the ground. 3-legged dogs and your right leg high. Bend your leg and stack your hips. Draw some circles with your right leg. And take those circles opposite direction. And then come to downward facing dog. Take your left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose. Again, inhale back to 3-leg. Exhale, squeeze your knee to nose, hold. Inhale, lower it down. Tap your knee and the top of your foot. Exhale, squeeze up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, low. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower it down, swing it to the left. Side plank variation towards the left. And adjust your stance as you need. Right shoulder stays on top of your left. Again, to secure your left shoulder in place, I want you to press through your palm. It stays stationary. Try to spin your left elbow pit, your left bicep forward. Right arm straight up above. If you want to go further, extend it forward alongside your ear. Full breath. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, both hands down. Three-legged dog. Left leg high. Bend your legs, stack your hips, and then draw circles. Yeah. And reverse them. Downward facing dog as you finish. And a breath in, bend your knees and look forward. And breath out, step to Malasana. So left foot outside of your left hand, right foot outside of your right hand. Bend your legs, come down to a low yogi squat. Getting some depth through your legs as if you would in chair, but opening up your inner thighs as well. Now you can take your hands together, elbows to your knee, press your palms down. Use that pressure to widen out your knees. At the same time, tuck your tailbone forward. Press your knees into your arms. Press your arms into your knees. Ooh, buddy. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground, forward fold. Toe heel your feet together. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. Inhale, reach up to a mountain pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. Samasthiti. Just close your eyes for a moment. Just notice what's changed. Notice what is. Accept it. Smile about it. It's there for you. You're ready to move, chair pose. Bend your knees, reach your arms up above your head. Take this right into the depth that suits you. Squeeze thighs, squeeze knees, squeeze ankles. Everything in. Now with everything in, nothing's going to move. Press your feet apart. Try to drive them away. Turn on the outside of your glutes. With that turn on, can you extend your arms a little higher, sit your seat a little lower? Inhale. Exhale, prayer twist towards the left, or rather towards the right. Right elbow to your left knee. Left elbow to your right. Prayer twist. It doesn't really matter. We're going to do the other side in a moment. So whatever side you're on, be there. 3 rounds of breath. Work to get your hips as low as your heart, maybe even lower, without your knees shifting way far forward past your toes. And there's still an extension. Inhale back to chair. Exhale, prayer twist towards the other side, whichever one you haven't done first. Draw your opposite hip back, so whichever way you're twisting, pull that opposite knee back in line. Work your hips down, press into your hands to twist your chest up. Next inhale, mountain pose, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, and then straight arm back bend. So reach your thumbs to the back of the room, squeeze your thighs, and drive your hips forward. Maybe look up to the ceiling, maybe palms touch, press into your hands, get really long through your entire body. Breathe in, stay for your exhale. Inhale back to mountain, straighten. Exhale, forward fold. Slow, flat spine as you fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then chaturanga on your breath out. Plant your hands, step or hop back to your vinyasa. Down dog is where we meet. All right, take your right leg high, breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose. Let's do that one time. Inhale, knee and top of your foot to the ground. Exhale, squeeze it up. Inhale, back to 3 leg. Exhale, low lunge, step to your hands. Left heel down, and then warrior 2. Reach up. So good inner thigh opener. Just remembered part of what was on the agenda for class today. I decided not to write it down. Testing my strength, working with some discomfort. Here we are.
3 more rounds of breath. I want you to take your hands to the inside of your thighs. And I want you to press in opposite directions. Right knee forward, slide maybe deepen into your lunge. Press your left leg down. Drive all the way through your back of your foot. All right. Take a breath in here. Exhale, extended side angle. Right arm down. I guess side angle to start. Left arm is going to stay stacked right on top of your right. So the same thing here. The tendency is to squeeze it back, overextending your shoulder. I want it to stay right on top of your left. Your left doesn't twist any further back than your right allows. Cool? If you want to go extend, reach your left hand forward, freeing your ear. Again, alongside your ear, not behind it. 3 rounds of breath. All right, inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the bend in your front leg, especially if it's burning right now. I know you want to release it. Hold it there. 1 more round. All right, take a breath in. Exhale, Skandasana to the back. Straighten your right leg. Turn your left toes out to the back about 45 degrees. Bend your left leg. So that Malasana we took, this is like half of a Malasana. It's so you can stretch your right leg. So I don't want to have to see you all the way down to the ground to think that you're in Malasana or into your Skandasana. This can be Skandasana. High as long as you're getting a stretch through your right leg. And maybe that means work your hips back, keep it bend. 2 more rounds of breath. Look forward and then inhale all the way back to the top of your mat, low lunge. 3-legged dog. Right leg high, bend your legs, and then draw some circles. And reverse your circles. Back to 3-legged dog, inhale. A little different this time. Shift forward to a high plank with your right leg lifted. Chaturanga with your right leg lifted. Option. When you're ready, back to downward facing dog. If the Ekapada Chaturanga option is a little much, skip it. There's no need for it if it's not serving you. Take your left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your knee to nose and hold. Again, inhale, lower top of your foot and knee to the ground. Exhale, squeeze up. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge, step to your hands. Right heel to the ground, warrior 2. Yeah. Again, your depth here. That may start higher up, knee behind your ankle. And then as you find some depth and power, both are necessary. Work your knee on top of your ankle. Arms extend out. Can you work pressure to the pinky side of your right foot? Even so much that your arch may feel like it's about to lift off the ground, or it may lift. Keep that there, pressurize. Now deepen into your front leg. Arms extend out once you find the depth, your deepest depth of your left lunge. All these alliterations. 1 more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Lengthen forward. Reach your right arm up, stack. Squeeze your glutes together. Point your tailbone slightly forward. And then press left arm into left leg to rotate your ribs and right shoulder higher. Maybe extend right arm forward. Frame your ear. Full breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And still bend in your front leg. Build more fire to make your muscles that much more malleable. Last inhale, look to the back of your mat. And exhale, Skandasana. Straighten your left leg, turn your right toes out. Come into your squat on the left, right. And these are going to be probably a little different. One's going to feel more open and accessible. One's a little tighter, less accessible. Be there for them completely. 2 more rounds of breath. Lift your chest up high. 1 more round. Look forward, inhale, low lunge. Then 3-legged dog. Send your left leg high, bend your legs, stack your hips. Draw your circles. And then reverse them. Come back to 3-legged dog. Shift forward, inhale.
Chaturanga, exhale. Maybe leave your left leg lifted as you float. Lower it down for upward facing dog. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Breath in. Breath out. One more time, inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, Malasana. Step or hop your feet outside of your hands. 5 rounds of breath in your yogi squat. Now you're going to notice the comparison of this to your Skandasana. How you're supporting yourself with your legs. Now one leg isn't stretching. You're supporting yourself with both. Can you still lift your chest up high? Or 2. Last breath in. Reach your hands forward, maybe up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then chaturanga on your breath out. Plant your hands, step your feet back, maybe hop them back through your flow. I'm skipping this one. Meeting down dog. All right, one more time through, and then we're going to focus more on your calves again. They need it. Right leg high, breathe in. Exhale, squeeze your knee to nose. Inhale, tap it to the ground. Exhale, pull it up. Inhale, 3 leg. Exhale, low lunge. Warrior 2, inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, skanda to the back. Full breath in. Sink deeper on your breath out. Look forward, inhale. Low lunge. 3-legged dog, right leg high. Bend and stack. If you want to flip your dog this time, if you're feeling it, flip. If you just want to keep the stack, open up your inner thighs. One more round of breath together. 3-legged dog on an inhale. Chaturanga on your exhale. An option to leave it lifted as you float. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg, breathe in. Exhale to your nose. Inhale, tap to the ground. Exhale, squeeze up. Inhale, 3 leg. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, skanda to the back. Breathe in, lift your chest. Sink deeper on your breath out. Look forward, inhale, low lunge. 3-legged dog, left leg high. Bend and stack, maybe flip. Your choice. All together, 3-legged dog. Inhale. Chaturanga, exhale, shift forward. Inhale to upward. Exhale to downward dog. Lift up to your tiptoes, breathe in. Shins to the ground, child's pose, breathe out. Five rounds of breath here, minimum. Just notice the sweat, notice your breath, notice your thoughts. That higher standard can be a little uncomfortable. It can be challenging. But remind yourself of the benefits of your higher standard. What is it that you'll gain? And breath in. Breath out. All right, walk your hands back in towards your legs one more time. Hands behind your hips. Thumbs face out, fingers point back. You can take that reverse, drive down through your shins to lift your hips. For 2. Last 1. Take a breath in. Lower your hips down. Breath out. Shift forward to a tabletop. From here, we're going to take a little more calf smashing. You don't need your blanket for now, though. You're going to stay in your tabletop. Send your right leg out straight behind you. And just a couple rounds of breath. Just feel the extension, how it feels on your body. And notice how much you're shifting to the left. You press your left knee down into the ground. Press the top of your left foot down. It will need to be flat so to take away any extra tension from this. With your right leg still extended, I want you to squeeze it in and place your right knee on top of your left calf. So your right leg is bent. All right, here's where it gets fun. Press. Knee into your calf, press into your hands to intensify. Again, just like before, it's going to feel intense, especially if it's not something that you've done a similar situation to before. You're not going to injure anything. So remind yourself, like getting a tattoo. It's painful. It's going to be there. it's not going to be forever. The benefit far outweighs the pain. On an inhale, send your right leg back out. On your exhale, pull your right knee into your right tricep. Touch it. Again, inhale, send it back out. Exhale, find a new spot on your left calf. Maybe further to the left, maybe further to the right. Press it down and then press into your hands. Holy shit. That is intense stuff, y'all. One more breath. Again, send right leg out straight, inhale. Exhale, squeeze to your right tricep. Inhale, send it back. Last time, smash your calf, find a new spot, maybe a little bit lower. Again, not on your bone. Putting direct pressure on your bone, you're probably going to cut off some blood supply on the meaty part. So somewhere new, but again, somewhere that it still has a fairly soft edge intensity. It would be something that you would jump away from. It's a slow progression to intensity. Full breath. All right, now send it back. Exhale, tabletop. Take a round of cat-cow in between. Reset your spine. And then drop your hips to your heels, child's pose. Give your arms a rest for a moment and just account for your left calf here. And notice it. Maybe it feels like you just went on a run. Maybe it feels like somebody just got through punching you. Just find the sensation. Find gratitude for the sensation. That's something that not everyone can acknowledge. Not everyone has the luxury of feeling or being able to feel. Thank yourself for that. Shift forward back to tabletop when you're ready. Left leg straight out behind you. Flex your toes down. Again, flip to the top of your right foot and then press it down. Squeeze your glute. Press your knee down. So you're still extending through your hips. Again, you're not dumping down and lowering. You're strong and lifted. Breath in. Exhale. Smash your calf. Pick a spot. Commit to it. Hold yourself to a higher standard here. In what way can you control yourself, conduct yourself here that you would be proud of later? That you would want to brag to your friends about how much you endured simply for yourself, for your own benefit. 2 more breaths. Next inhale, left leg straight. Exhale, squeeze it to your tricep. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, calf smash, a new spot. I have a tattoo of Bill Murray on the back of my right calf, so anytime I'm calf smashing, I'm driving my knee into his face. Felt a little bad. I'm sure he would understand though. 2 more breaths. Last time, inhale, left leg straight. Exhale, knee to your tricep. 1 more time, inhale back. Exhale, last spot. Somewhere new. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the one. Man, oh man. So your fascia, envision it like cobwebs. Take this like thick, strong cobwebs that somebody has spread all over the covering of your muscles. And anytime you do strenuous work, or if you have some blunt force trauma, you get hit, bumped, it forms a knot, an adhesion there. And it restricts any other muscle, since it's basically attached, from moving in that point. This is helping to release that. Inhale, left leg straight, last time. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, send it back just to extend. Knees to the ground, lower down to your shins, come to a seat on your shins. For a moment, let your hands rest on top of your lap. And just let yourself be. Close your eyes. If you're sweating like I am, let it drip. Let it itch. One more breath in. Breath out. All right. From here, we're going to take it into frog pose. So, turn to the side of your mat. Now, if you have your blanket, it's a good thing to either use for your knees, or if you already have a thick mat, you can use it maybe for your elbows if you have hardwood floors. But the goal here is to take your knees as wide as is comfortable with your hips
still in line with your knees to start. So again, they're not way forward past, they're not way behind, right in line with it. Press onto the inside arches of your feet. And then again, once you have that stack, it's as wide as you need. If you want to use your hands, wide it out, but don't get too far. There's no need to be a hero in this pose. It's about slow stretches. And when you're ready, bring your elbows down to the ground. And again, squeeze your thighs together, press your knees down, and then begin to resist by pressing your elbows forward so you slide your hips back. And allow something to soften, let your head relax to the ground. You got 5 more rounds of breath. And just like before, scan your body. What are you able to soften without working into the integrity of the pose? There's nothing compromised. It's still a strong pose. But more depth, even if it's only a millimeter. That's 2. That's 1. All right, to come out of this, shift forward and then toe heel your knees. Toe knee, I guess, your knees back to the center. From there, turn back to the top of your mat. Palms to the ground, send your left leg back. Half pigeon on the right. All classes today, this is the first half pigeon I'm taking. Everything else has been supine figure 4. So when this feels good, walk your elbows to the ground. You can stay here. Again, you can still traction your chest forward. So whatever resistance you feel on your right leg, intensify it. If you want to become completely passive. Lower your forearms or your elbows or maybe your forehead to the ground. And the goal here is to soften. Soften what's gripping. Since your yoga practice is meditation, maybe use a mantra. Keep yourself here. As you breathe in, breathe I am. As you breathe out, here. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, here. 5 more rounds of breath. From there, press into your hands, walk your hands back in toward your legs, and then roll onto your right hip to swing your left leg forward. And from here, grab your left hand across to your right thigh. So top of your thigh, wrap it around so you got a good grip. So it's not going to slip off if you try to pull it to the left. You got traction there. Reach your right hand up, both sit bones stay on the ground. Take a breath in. Exhale, side bend towards the left. But pull your left arm into your right leg, but resist that by pressing your right leg down. So it's like you're trying to touch your knee to the ground, and at the same time, you're trying to pull to lift your leg like it's a big heavy manhole cover. Stretch your right hand further forward, maybe grab your left toes. But again, arm stays over your ear rather than way behind it. And continue your deep breathing into your ribs and into your obliques to find stretch. One more. Inhale up through center, right hand to the ground behind your right hip. Stargazer. Roll into your right shin. Press to lift your hips.
Breathe in. Exhale, hands down. Swing your left leg back. Make your way back to your three-legged dog with your right leg high to draw any shapes that you need to release any residual tension. When you've gotten that evened out, if you want a vinyasa, you can take it. Otherwise, set yourself up for half pigeon on the left side. Left shin to the ground. Walk your right knee back. Again, that walking of your knee back is so that you can really set yourself up into your left hip. So rather than staying way lifted high, get a little depth. Your hip isn't way down to the ground. Again, you're not leaning out to the left. Hips are still even. Find that stick. And elbows, forearms, or forehead to the ground. Your depth of this pose. One more time, check in with your jaw. Soften it. Take a couple of swallows, allow your throat to reset. Final 2 rounds of breath. Make them long, the longest ones yet. When you're ready, walk your hands back in towards your legs. Roll into your left hip, swing your right leg forward. Grab your left thigh. Breathe in, lift your left arm up. Again, both sit bones down. Exhale, side bend towards the right. Ooh, yes, this feels brand new. Not in a good or bad way, just a unfamiliar way. It's the joy of yoga, right? It's always going to be a journey. Even 7 years into it, I'm still finding new stuff. Even with same poses, there's always new ground to be found. One more round. Inhale back up, left hand to the ground. Stargaze. Drive everything on the ground down. Press it there. Try to make an indentation to the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, hips to the ground. This time, take your left leg out straight in front of you, and then wiggle them left and right. Maybe if you want deeper, bend your knees, windshield wiper. Ooh, yeah. That's stuff. Once that's done, take your legs out straight in front of you, and then wide. As wide as they'll go, that's comfortable. Take a breath in, reach your both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge forward. We're going to keep this straight spine, straight arms for the moment. So again, not rounding and bending and allowing your abdominals to take over. Squeeze your shoulders, lift it. Everything is engaged right now. Flex your toes. Can you drive the back of your knees down so that your ankles, your heels may lift off the mat? Take a breath. On your exhale, slowly descend a little further. Full breath in. Exhale just a little further. One more inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, hands to the ground, and then let your forehead relax. Take up depth. Two more rounds. Back up through center. Bring your legs together. Hands in front of you, lower onto your back. And pull your right knee in. Half wind relieving pose, revisiting what we started with. Pull your knee outside of your rib. Squeeze it down toward your shoulder. And then half happy baby. Grab the outside of your foot, pull it down as you drive it up. More time, release your leg, hug your knee to chest, breathe in. Supine twist to the left on your breath out. Right shoulder stays connected, touching the ground. One more time, envision your abdominals like a balloon. I want you to fill up so much that it's not going to go back to its original shape. It's stretched out even more. Then exhale, send it out. 2 more like that. Fill up to your capacity. Let it go. Last time. 1 more sit. Let it go. Inhale to center. This time grab behind your right thigh, send your leg straight up to the ceiling. Flex your toes and pull your thigh to your chest. More hamstring stretch. Maybe drive up so much through your heel that your calf stretches as well for 3. 2. Last 1. Release, send your right leg straight. Pull your left knee in half wind relieving pose. Pull it to the side. From there, happy baby, left leg. One more round. And then grab your knee, supine twist towards the right. Move any props out of the way if they're blocking you. Once again, find that expanse of your ribs. There's no way you're going to be able to return them. They're totally expanded out, way past their original start. For 3, 2. Last one, take a big breath in. 1 more sit. And exhale, deepen your twist. Come through to center, inhale. Left leg straight, grab behind your thigh. Lift your shoulders, pull your knee to chest. Breathe for 3. 2. Last 1. Release. Both shins or feet to the ground, rather. Bridge pose, final pose of class. The release of your front line, your final release. If you're digging wheel, take wheel. Arms, hands to the ground by your ears. Drive to lift your hips. Always are about you, so make them about you. 3. Last 2, drive your feet forward. Challenge the strength of your arms or your back. Last breath in, everyone come to your tiptoes. Lift up high. Exhale, release down. Tailbone touches last, then extend your legs out straight, arms out alongside your hips. Take another breath in together, unite it. Your exhale, release. Shavasana. Moment. Think of yourself as energy. So as we get down to the cellular level, down to the atomic level, you see that nothing is touching. There's no contact being made by your cells. They simply vibrate at either a higher or a lower frequency, depending on how dense they are. Those higher frequencies, the rise and falls of the peaks, are harder to pass. The low frequency won't necessarily pass through that high vibration. These movements, this focus, this shaking up of energy is your vibrational shift. We call it your aura, but it's the measurable energy frequency surrounding your body. You've stoked that up. Use all of this tingling in your body, this noticing and this awareness to commit to and to own that high vibrational frequency, your aura. Those you come into contact with can feel it. And those who are vibrating lower can't penetrate your field. They can't bring down what you've already brought up. Holding yourself to that higher standard. Bring a smile to your face. Gratitude for your practice, gratitude for your own power. And then begin moving your body. Reassess that power. Move your fingers and your toes. Let your chin rock to the left, to the right. Release your neck. Reach your arms above your head. Good morning stretch. Legs long. Draw your knees up into your chest. Roll to one side for fetal pose, just as a transition, only long enough to press yourself up to a seat. With your eyes still closed, bring your hands to your heart, a comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Lift your thumbs, or rather press your thumbs into your chest. Lift your chest up into your thumbs. In a proud lifted chest, your body language signifier that you're proud. That, bring your thumbs to your third eye, center of intuition. Take a breath in, lift your elbows. As you exhale, bow forward as we share the words. Namaste. I believe that went longer than I anticipated, but here we are. Why, yes, it did. Much longer. So don't listen to that 45-minute cue I talked about earlier. Thank you so much. It's always an honor and a privilege to be able to teach these classes to you, to reach out and to be able to connect even though we're not physically together. So thank you so much for joining. If you can, please visit blackswanyoga.com/live to donate to our Teacher Relief Fund. 100% of that goes to us. And a bit of housekeeping. This is the last week that we'll be posting these classes on YouTube. Starting next week, they're going to be posted, or rather, they're still going to be live, but they're going to be through MBO. So the same way that you would check in if you were going to the studio on the app would be the same way you're going to check into those classes. So they're going to be a fairly similar schedule. We have those already posted up. Check them out. Reach out to me at JRPose on Instagram or any of the other teachers here if you have any more questions about those. Thank you so much, yogis. Have a great rest of your evening. Till next time. Namaste.